Hello and welcome everybody back to Derpy Dungeons. This is Yazro and today we are playing a game, Elimination. It is a demo. Process of elimination demo. Um, so far the game is movie scenes and me reading. Couple choices scattered in, not a whole lot to do. Excuse me. But last time, against all advice, we entered this building, which resulted in a game over. I guess gas got to us? I don't know. I really don't know. But this time, we're gonna ignore it, like we were supposed to do, and head on to the manor. I decided to go do what Senior Detective suggested and make my way toward the manor at the peak of the mountain. My mentor always chided me for being so rash. Maybe I wouldn't have been abducted if I had just waited for him like I was supposed to. What's more, I get this deep feeling of dread whenever I look at that building to the right of the heliport. I should follow Senior Detective's advice, especially considering that he must have a way better grasp on the situation than me. What is this place, really? This island? I make my way up the mountain, quietly grumbling to myself, when suddenly... a chill runs down my spine. I quickly turn to look behind me, but the only thing in sight is that building. I get the strange feeling that going there would have had irrevocable consequences for me. My uneasiness lingers, but I turn my back and keep going in spite of it. Yeah, it'll kill you if you go there. The whole place looked like a mimic. I continue up the twisting mountain path for about 15 minutes until at last I arrive at the manor door. It was a gentle incline, but I'm still spent. I warily take a seat, resting my back against the outside wall of the manor. It's the exact kind of setting you'd expect in any mystery novel. The manor's exterior speaks to its age and smells faintly of lumber. During my approach, I could only gasp at the structure's imposing beauty. Upon closer inspection, I notice its windows are constructed from an unnaturally thick glass, impossible to break or peek through. What's the point of them, then? I stand up and circle the perimeter, but there don't appear to be any points of entry aside from the front door. That is a big structural mistake. Only one way in, one way out. Oh. If anything, it seems like it was built to house prisoners, not residents. This definitely isn't your average manor. What on earth could be waiting within? I slow down and catch my breath. My hand is damp with sweat as I turn the knob of the manor's only entrance. A loud clink rings out as if it swings open with ease. I thought I was told not to enter until he arrived. The interior seems normal enough. Wow! What a mansion! Sorry, brain. Anyway. Am I just overthinking things? I ask weakly as I take a step inside. As soon as I let go of the knob, the door closes on its own, not one moment later. A sharp pain suddenly erupts in my head, causing me to stagger involuntarily. A shadow at my feet expands rapidly. My spine tingles as I feel something rush quickly towards me. Without even a moment of hesitation, I kick out and leap to the side. However... something slams hard against the back of my skull. The impact sends me flying. My vision swims, my mind already fading. I find myself unable to stand. Then the world fades to white. Yeah, he told me not to go in. I remember.
Oi, こいつ全然起きねえぞ。一
Yo!
発蹴りでもかますか?
Yo, guys! This chump ain't waking up. How's about I kick him around a bit?
ヤマトさん、
Don't be so violent, Rowdy. I hear voices nearby.
飛脚パイセンに賛成。暴力とか
I
マジ
tote
ないっし
side
ょ。
with
水ぶっ
Doleful
かけるくら
here.
いでよくね？
Violence is so not cool. Why don't we just, like, dump a bucket of water on him instead?
渋谷さんも大概過激だな。ここは冷静にね。
That idea is just as extreme. Downtown, let's try and consider our options rationally.
もしや心肺が止まっているのではないか。我が速やかに心臓マッサージを。
Mayhaps his vital organs are unresponsive. I shall administer a cardiac massage at once.
その必要はありません。ど
No
うや
need for
ら目を
that.
覚ましたよう
I
です
think
よ。
he's waking up. I open my eyes, my vision is blurred. The dizzying pain in my head is unbearable. There's a constant ringing in my ears, and my body won't move an inch. A wave of nausea comes over me, but I manage to stop myself from groaning.
僕は
What happened? I vaguely recall being hit by something the moment I stepped into the manor. Last my vision finally clears up.
あなたたち。
Who are you people? My eyes refocus, I'm met with several unfamiliar faces and a sturdy rope binding me. I'm tied up, surrounded by a group of strangers. What in the world is going on?
おい、てめえ侵入者こら！
You lousy intruder! A girl in a sports jacket grabs me by the throat, glowering menacingly. She looks to be in her early teens, but her strength is incredible. I can't get a peep out while trapped in her iron grip.
本部で待ち伏せた。
You got some stones jumping up on jumping us on our turf. Who you spying for, huh? Huh?
大和探偵さん、落ち着いて。
Calm down, rowdy detective.
落ち着いてられるかよ。
To hell with that! This Jamoke might have offered some of our own. Plus, he won't even give us an answer. I ain't just gonna let that slide.
だけど、首を
Well,
絞
he
め上げ
can't
たまま
talk
で
if
は
you're
何も
actively
話せませんよ。
choking him. Now, can he?
え？
Huh?
おお、科学探偵の言う通りだな。
Techie detective.
悪かったよ、侵入者。
Sorry, intruder. My bad.
すまね
100%. The girl in the sports jacket lets me go, then immediately falls to her knees, touching her head to the floor as she apologizes.
顔を上げてください。
It's
気にしてませ
okay.
んから。
You don't need to grovel about it. I'm still in the dark here, but I get that you have every reason to suspect me.
その通りだが、
That
このまま
checks
じゃ
out.
筋が通
But
ら
it
ね
don't make us right.
え。けじめだ。
One bad turn deserves another, so come on, hit me.
俺に見ま、そんなことしませんよ。
No way am I gonna do that.
縛られ
Besides,
てる
I
のでで
can't.
きません。
I'm all tied up,
顔
so
を上
please
げて
stop
ください。
bowing.
実は僕
I
も
have
状況
literally
が
no
全
idea
然
what's
わからな
happening.
くて
Who are
混乱
all
し
of
てるんで
you?
す。
What is this island?
皆さん
What's
は
going on
何なん
around here? As I ask the so-called rowdy detective my questions, the boy in the wheelchair approaches us.
自らの意思でこの島
I
を
take
訪
it
れ
you
たわけ
aren't
ではな
here
いの
for
ですね。
of your own
それに
volition.
詳
You
し
say
い
you
ことは
aren't
何
informed
も
of
わ
the
からない。
situation, right? Yeah, all I know is the senior detective brought me here.
どうしたんてがあなたを
Senior detective? The boy called Techie Detective cups his chin in thought.
先ほど眼球運動を
I
確認した
checked
か
your
も
eyes
気
to
絶してい
verify
た
you
の
were
は間違いない。
unconscious.
自作
Which
自演
is
で気
assume
絶
it
してい
wasn't
た
a
可能性もある
self-induced
けど
ruse for
一度事
now.
実として考
But
えたら
senior
良さそう。
detective bringing
幻
you
探
to
偵をな連れ
HQ.
てくるなんて
That
何
doesn't
か
sit
違和
well
感が
with
ある。
me.
このお
Where
姉
do
さん
you fit in with the
僕ら
rest of
と
us?
立ち位
What
置
do
は
you
違うの
have
か。
to do with the
八
courtroom
崎
Duke
法事件の捜査とどう
investigation?
関係がある。おい、科学探偵って
Yo,
ばよ。
Earth the Techie here.
あった。
Oh,
ごめんなさい。ちょ
sorry.
っと
I
考え
was
込ん
lost
で
in
しまっ
thought.
て。
Right, detective pokes Techie Detective snapping out of his trance. He dips his head in apology. I'm as confused as ever right now, but I have heard of these two detectives before.
この人たちの集ま
Does
り
that mean that all of them are?
トリマ、その人の縄を解いてあげね。
Anyway,
縛っ
should
た
we
まま
let this
尋
guy
問すると
loose?
か、どん
Keep
なプレイ
grilling
だよ
him
って
while
感
he's
じ
all
で
tied
怖い
up,
じゃん。
and people are gonna think we're into this kind of stuff.
待って渋谷探偵さん。
Hold on, downtown detective.
何？
Huh? What? That's fine. It's just we just wait a bit longer, I think. The trendy girl responds with indignation, causing the frail boy to tear up. Nevertheless, he doesn't back down.
敵は20人以上
Our enemy
の
wields
毒を有
deadly
しているわけ。
poison that can kill over 20 people. If this is him, he could wipe us all out just by scattering a trace amount of it. Free him with at least a hat would be far too dangerous.
ああね。
Ah, yeah. Guess I got a little antsy there, my bad. Even though her idea got rejected, the trendy girl called Downtown Detective laughs as if nothing happened. Thanks, Doleful Detective. No wonder you're number 14. Mad props. No, nonsense. I'm just paranoid. Still, I don't want any more victims like all those people in the research facility. If anything, we need to be overcautious. Somewhat androgynous youth speaks with a voice full of fear. Victims, like those in the research facility, comment catches my attention, but now isn't the time to be asking questions. Instead, I hold my tongue and continue to watch in silence.
Fear
not, said Awful Detective. Even should his intentions prove nefarious, I, Armored Detective, swear to protect you. The armored man rests one hand on the youth he called Doleful Detective and the other on Downtown Detective. I'm not going to ever remember who is who. I'm afraid. There's too many people being shown all at once, and their names don't make sense to them right now, except Armored. Thanks, Armor. Physical exertion is a lot for me, so I appreciate it. Though the boy smiles at Armored Detective, Downtown Detective waves off the gauntlet, looking utterly repulsed. Yeah, nah, I'm good. You're like suffocating me. Would you back off, number 32? Oh, you recall my rank despite mine being the only one here that is lower than 30. My heart is stirred. I swear on my life to protect you. Take a hint. How annoying can you get? Armored Detective happily strides closer to Downtown Detective. He doesn't seem to notice the look of genuine disgust on her face. Moving on, we should touch base with the chief of our D-pads. We're lucky our devices signals allow us to communicate from the manor to the research facility. A man who looks like a corporate employee joins the conversation. He holds a familiar tablet-like device in his hands, a D-pad, the trademark of the Detective Alliance. My heart beats fast in spite of myself as I guess at the nature of my company. Thanks, Workaholic Detective! You're always so quick on your feet. Adulting 101. Plain check. As for our sleeping beauty here, I got in touch with the chief and he is indeed a fellow member of the DA. To be safe, I'd like to confirm with you directly. This is no mistake, right? Right. No mistake about it, though. I only just got my D-pad. Honestly, I'm completely new to this. Everything clicks into place as I speak with the man referred to as Workaholic. I knew it. They really are part of the Alliance, and these aren't just any average members. They're so famous even nobody like me knows of them. There could only be one possible reason why a group of detectives like this would be gathered here. It was the same thing I had been brought for, to discuss how to handle the Quartering Duke. They're all here for the meeting, no doubt. The only question that remains is why would a new recruit who lacks even a proper alias be here at a Detective Alliance HQ? Were you also invited to participate in our discussion regarding how to deal with the Quartering Duke? Yes, Senior Detective, explain it to me. Oh, that's right, I have my own D-pad too. So, the one in your shirt pocket really was yours. My apologies. I took the liberty of searching you. What? When? I don't know how, but Workaholic Detective is clearly holding my device. The fact he could swipe it without my noticing is terrifying. Now then, if you would allow me to borrow your hand for just a moment. Workaholic Detective grabs my hand to bypass the D-pad's fingerprint authentication, navigating to the message application with practiced ease. He seems to be checking my invitation to the Quartering Duke meeting, which I had been reading just before I fell unconscious. I see. It's the exact same message as the one I received. The person truly will be joining us. Relief washes through me. Workaholic Detective smile, but it doesn't last long. That being said, anyone capable of infiltrating this island would have no trouble faking a simple email. Workaholic Detective's smile turns grim. His piercing gaze cuts right through me, making my body flare up with goosebumps.
下手な真似しでかすんじゃねえぞ。
Making lousy knockoffs, eh? You're asking for a one-way ticket to hell, pal, courtesy of my fists.
他の探偵さんたちのような独自の気配が君からは一切感じられ
You
ない。
don't give off that unique
一体何者
presence
な
the
の？
rest of us detectives have. Just who are you?
結論を出すには検討
We
材料
lack
が不足
sufficient
しすぎてい
data
ま
for
す。
any conclusions
情
for
報が
now.
揃うまでは
We have no
監視は
choice
やむ
but
な
to
しかと。
keep him under surveillance until we can find out more. The other detectives watch me warily, their eyes make it abundantly clear that they're on high alert. I completely understand why they suspect me, my exceptional circumstances, but that doesn't make their looks sting any less. Dwelling on Doleful Detective's unsettling remarks earlier led me to wonder what happened to the Detectives Alliance.
まあさ、怪しんでばかりじゃ
Look,
拉致
being
が
on
開かない
edge
し、
won't help us at all. So why don't we just, I don't know, bring him along?
老子のじっちゃんも見つ
We
けた
still
けど
gotta
さ、
find Old Man Senior.
言い争って
So
る
it's
暇
not
とか
like we
ない
have
っしょ。
time to stand around arguing.
気が合うな渋谷
Our
探偵
minds
殿
are as one,
我も
Lady
同意見
Downtown.
である
I
証拠が出
fully
るまでは
concur. Let us
彼も
treat
仲
him
間の
as a
一員でよか
compatriot
ろう
until more evidence appears.
あんたと同意見なのは天下げ
Our minds are miles apart, weirdo. But whatever.
うち頭悪いからさ。
Call me an airhead, but I'm with Armor on this. I
その
think
人も一緒
it'd
に
be
連れて
chill
っ
to
ていい
take
と
him
思
with.
う。ミステリモノで仲間割れとか
Besides,
死
I
亡
know
フ
my
リだし
mystery
ね。
stories. Splitting up would be like total suicide.
ミステリモノって
Mystery stories, you say. Techie smiles wryly as Rowdy grabs the rope, tying me up.
まあ渋谷の言う
Yeah,
通りだ
downtown's
な。
got the right idea. Red Detective tears my restraints apart as if they're made of paper. I can now move freely except for my bound hands. But still, what raw physical strength. It's hard to believe a girl smaller than me can be so powerful.
仲間同士で疑い合ってた。
Mistrusting each other is
八つ咲き
exactly
の
what the
思う
Quarter and
ツボ
Duke
だ。
wants, so for now, I'll
こ
trust
れ
you
もひと
too.
まず。
行動の前に一言確認を取って
I
ほしかった
wish
と
you
ころ
would
だけ
ask
ど
before acting, but at
私
the
も同意
least I
見だ
do
よ。
agree with the notion.
先ほ
My
ど体を
search
調べ
didn't
た
turn
時
up anything
何も見つからず
suspicious.
君にはひとまず
Until
我々
further
と行
notice,
動を
she'll be
共にして
coming
も
with
らおう
us, seeing as this
ただ
is
し
a
今は
race
一刻
against
を
the
争う時
clock.
代だ
I'll have to
私たちが
catch
どんな状
you
況に置
up
かれてい
as
るか
we
につい
move
ては
along.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you. The detectives head out, one after another. Now that the mood has lightened up a bit, I can't help but let out a sigh of relief. I've seen plenty of suspects get interrogated in mystery novels and shows, but never did I expect to be the one in the hot seat. Life sure keeps you on your toes.
そういえば侵入者さ
That
んのこと
reminds me,
を
what
何
should
て
we
呼べば
call
い
you,
い？
intruder? You don't
まだ
have a
探偵
detective
ネームない
alias
で
yet,
しょ？
right? This is your chance
せ
to
っかく
pick
だ
one.
し、今僕の名前は
Well, my name is... I barely stopped myself from answering downtown with my real name. Keeping your name secret is the first rule of the Detective Alliance. It could be deadly for your identity to get out between cases. That's why upon joining the DA, members are given a one-word code name based on a defining characteristic of theirs. That code name is known as a detective alias. I've longed to have one of my own ever since Mr. Ginjoji told me about them.
僕の探偵ネーム
My
は
detective alias is, despite my yearning for one, it's hard to think of anything on the spot. I have no experience, skills, or defining characteristics. To be perfectly honest, I couldn't even begin to guess why I was led into the Detective Alliance.
いや悩みすぎっしょ。
What? Is it that hard? You're older than me. Shouldn't you have
見
more
た感
life
じうちより
experience like
年上っぽい
seriously,
の
dude?
に。
I
なん
can't
で
even
そんな
with
に
you.
余裕な。面目ないです。
Sorry, this is really
ほ
embarrassing.
ら、一緒に考え
Well,
よう
let's
よ。
think of one together. What are your
特技は
skills?
何？
Anything you're good at in
今
all
ま
the
での事
cases
件
you've
で
been on
得意
for?
だと。猫
I'm
を
good
探
at
すのが
finding
得意でした。
cats. They like
なぜ
me.
か。
Sigh. Downtown gives a deep sigh. My amateur status fills me with shame.
じゃあ、無能探偵。
Alrighty then, how
ってこと
about we
で
call
よ
you
ろしく。
incompetent detective?
ええ
What? Now that's just cruel. You might as well be saying I'm good for nothing. I mean, not that it isn't true, but still, it's obvious. I'd obviously prefer a different name, but before I can object,
他のみんなもいい名前
hey
が決ま
everyone,
った
until we
から
think of something better, this here is incompetent. Okay?
大和団地らしい変化の名前だな。
More humble. Fitting for a young gun itching to find a place in the world.
飛脚探偵さんや社畜探偵さんと同じく特徴をカリカチュアしたタイプの名
Character
前な
your
んですね。
traits. In the same vein as dutiful and workaholic.
一緒に頑張ろうね。
Right, you're one of us now, incompetent. A name with which we can call upon your aid deepens our bond. I am at your service, Sir Incompetent. Picking on the new guy takes me back. Incompetent rapidly gains the approval of the rest, so rapidly that it's too late to dispute it. Much to my chagrin. Aw, look how fast your new name caught on! I'm so happy for you, Incompetent! It doesn't make me happy at all. Despite my protest, downtown ignores me, flashing a devilish smile. Thus did I become Incompetent Detective, an official member of the Detective Alliance. A bright red carpet covers the floor and landscape paintings adorn the walls of this corridor. The detectives explain the situation as we walk down the passageway. The scent of the roses on display around us drifting in the air. This location... his voice already. Holy crap. This location which you've been brought is an island that doesn't appear on any map. The DA used it as a base of operations for years. It has two buildings, SNOC, a research facility for investigation support and a secure development, and Gormenghast, a manor for overnight stays. The original plan was for everyone to discuss the situation in the manor. We were to review dioramas of various quartering Duke cases. That was the plan? Rowdy suddenly punches the wall beside her, causing the other nearby walls to tremble from the impact. When we got here, a bunch of detectives from HQ had been snuffed out by poison. All 22 members of the research facility gone. All 22 of them? Every hair on my body stands on the end of the unthinkable news. Even among history's most infamous mass murderers, few had a death toll more than 20. Killing 22 people at once is beyond all reason. The culprit piled their bodies at the facility's entrance as if they were naught but rubbish. Such savagery is no less than inhuman. Seeing the heap of corpses would have killed your appetite big time, Incompetent. And the poison gas filled the room would have killed you for real. Lucky you didn't go in there, huh? A heap of corpses, just imagine it makes me feel faint. And that's not even taking the deadly gas into account. Maybe Senior Detective knew about the gruesome scene, so he sent me straight to the manor instead. That would also explain why he hid me in the forest and went off on his own. I need to find him soon and thank you for keeping me safe. There was another quartering Duke attack, right? We are not sure yet. But how many deaths there were, the clues are awfully scarce. Quartering Duke cases always result in two concurrent victims. This crime would appear to have a different modus operandi. The quartering Duke gentleman, no doubt. If I catch the bastard skulking around the island, I'm a clean spot. It's said that the quartering Duke has killed over 100 people, but even that was over the course of half of a year. On the other hand, murdering 22 people at once, all of them first-rate detectives, can hardly be the work of an amateur. I get the impression that he commits grisly deeds for the thrill of it, but otherwise, his identity is a complete mystery. We began our investigation at the research facility, but in the chief's D-pad received a message from a surviving Alliance member. Techie draws out his own D-pad and plays an audio file. I hit it. Chief, need their help. Recording cuts off there. Although the sound was low and full of static, even I could grasp what it signified. That's Senior's voice, isn't it? He's alive then, thank goodness. Yes, I'm certain that's him, making it through the situation unscathed. It's no wonder he's a legend among detectives.
そんなにすごい
Is
探
he
偵なんですか
really that incredible?
今でもメディアでよく
You,
取り上げられ
you
る
know
明
the
けの夜事件って
Dayless
あるで
Night
しょ
incident that
あの
still
事
shows
件を
up in
解
the
決
news.
した探偵同盟の
Not
創立
only
メ
did
ンバー
he
なんだって
solve it, he's also a founding member of the DA.
明け
The
の夜事
Dayless
件
Night incident.
教科書にも
Even
載ってるよ
school
うな
textbooks
大事件じゃ
talk
ないで
about
すか
that case. You're saying he cracked it? I was a kid then, so I don't remember much, but it was the worst terror attack in national history, sparked by a new religious movement. From that event onward, criminal atrocities swept the nation, which is part of why the Detective Alliance was formed. Solving a case of that magnitude would absolutely qualify him as a legend.
もともとはローシさんと合流するために
Originally,
他
we
の探偵たちと
split
別れ
up
て
from the other
僕らはこの洋
detectives
館
and
に来
headed
た
to
ん
the
だ
manor to reconvene with Senior.
老子殿が身を隠さなければならぬ
it must be a villain most foul for even so Senior to be forced
助
into
け出さ
hiding.
ねば
We must hasten to his aid forthwith.
じゃあ
Huh? You
ここにいる
mean
皆
there
さん
are
以
other
外にも
detectives
探
here
偵がいるん
besides
です
you
か
guys?
そう研究棟に
For
残って捜査を
sure.
続けているの
There's
が
what, 6 more investigating the research facility?
まるで探偵のバ
It's
ー
like
ゲ
a
ンセール
detective
だなって
BOGO
感じで
sale in there.
草生えるよね
I don't quite get what she means by that, but I guess it is a lot of detectives. BOGO is buy one, get one. LMAO has left my ass off. So, I don't know why he doesn't know those. I know those terms, really. I'm still reeling from the heinous murders we have yet to unravel, but at least now there's a glimmer of hope.
これで全ての部屋を探し終えた
I
はずだ
believe we've searched every room, but there's no sign of Senior.
もしかしたら
Maybe the
僕らより
culprit
先に
arrived
交換へ
here
たどり
before
着い
we
た
did.
犯人
Senior
に気づい
would
て
have realized
ど
this
こかへ逃げたの
escaped.
もし先ほどの通話を
If the
傍聴
message
され
was
ていたら
intercepted, the
犯
culprit
人
could
が
have
先回
easily
りした可
gotten
能
ahead
性
of
は
us.
十分ああね
Oh,
うちら
yeah.
がここに到着するまでに10分はかかってるもんね
I can see that happening. It
考えられ
took
な
us,
くは
what,
ないのかも
10 minutes to get here?
いや研究所
But
からこの洋
there's
館までは
only
一本
one
道
path
で
from the
周囲は
facility
断崖
to
絶
here, and
壁
it's surrounded by
僕
sheer
らに見
cliffs.
つからずに逃げ出すのは無理だ
No
よ
one could escape without noticing. The detectives process the situation with impressive speed. I'm barely keeping up as I struggle to understand what it all means. Downtown's casual chit-chat is about the only thing that makes any sense to me.
つかこの部屋も無
This room
線が
doesn't
な
get
いじゃん
wireless internet
ス
either.
マホ使えない
Why'd
とか
bother having a phone then?
マジ
Ugh,
でナイコヤち
this
ゃ
is
んなんです
such
け
a
ど
major bummer.
いえ仮に無
Even
線
if
ラ
there
ンのル
were
ー
a
ターがあっ
router
たと
here,
して
I
も
doubt it
使え
would
ない
do
と
you
思い
any
ますよ
good.
なんで
Oh yeah?
この島は
Why?
県
Because
外
Alan's
って
off
こ
the
と
grid?
いえ
Not
実は
exactly. I
研
tried
究棟で
connecting to a
固定
wired
回線
network
で
in
の
the
ネットワー
research
ク接
facility,
続
but I
を
couldn't
試
get
し
it
て
to
て
work
先
at
ほ
all.
ど
I
洋
made
館
another
内の
attempt
回
here
線
at
で
the
試して
manor
み
a
ると
moment ago, but
結
that
果は
failed
同じでし
too.
た
The island's
お
communication
そら
has
く
had must
島
be
の通
down.
信用のでも探偵デバイス同士はやり取
But
り
our
できてんじ
keypads
ゃ
can
ん
still link to each other,
スマ
right?
ホとは違うの
What's the diff between that and our smartphones?
ええ探偵デバイスは独自の
Well,
通
the
信システムを
keypads
採用
have
し
a
ているん
unique
です
communication
僕
system
も
as
開
part of
発
the
に
R&D
携わりました
system.
が本
I
当に素
must
晴ら
say,
しい
it's
技術
truly
が使
amazing
われて
tech.
いるんですよ
Basically, it
詳しく
works
説
by...
はいはいまあ
Okay,
つま
okay,
り
okay. We get it, we get it, we
う
get
ち
it.
はこの島にいる
I
間
can't even,
連
like,
れたちと
chat
ろくに会話も
with
できない
my followers while we're
ってこと
here?
ね
Could this be any lamer?
いい機会だ
I prefer to see this as an opportunity! An opportunity for us fellow detectives to deepen the bonds of our camaraderie.
ガチで下がるわ
Guess it can. That scent! You gotta be kidding me! Rowdy starts crawling on all fours like a dog right at the entrance of the room. She presses her face to the carpet with a sharp expression on her face.
ヤマトさんどう
What's
したんですか
wrong, Rowdy?
血の匂いだ
Blood! I can smell blood! Hope it's not Chris's blood. Sorry. Huh? Silence fills the room. The others all turn to look at Rowdy.
バラの匂いと絨毯の色で
Nearly
全然
missed
気
it.
づかなかったが
Thanks to the rosy smelling brick carpet.
血痕
But
が
the
ついて
floor's
やが
got
るぜ
blood on it, see? From the entrance to them
入り口からまっす
flowers.
ぐにあの花瓶に向かってな
Rowdy approaches an empty vase and sticks her hand in, pulling out a bloody knife.
ビンゴだな誰の血だかは知ら
Bingo!
ねえが
Don't know which poor mud sauce this is, but I'll tell you one thing. Some goon was on the loose in here.
どうして血の
How
匂
did
い
you
なんて
even
分かったん
notice
です
the
か
smell? The blood
見
is
るから
already
に
dry.
顔利き
俺はガキの頃から漁
Been
師の
hunting
親
with
父
my
を手
old
伝っ
man
てた
since
か
I
ら
was
な
little. I've got the nose of a
猟犬の
bloodhound,
嗅覚
eyes of a hawk,
わ
ears
し
of
の
a
視
rabbit,
覚
and a raw
ウ
macho
サギ並みの
spirit.
聴覚
I'm not so convinced that helping on hunting trips would give you those kind of abilities, but it's astonishing nonetheless.
岩松さん、そのナイ
Rowdy,
フが
that
使われ
knife
た場所
wasn't
は
used here,
この
was
部屋
it?
ではないんだ。
ああこの部
Yep,
屋には
nothing in
血
this
痕
room
し
but
か残
traces
って
and
ね
stains. Guessing they only
え
came
あ
by
と
to
は
hide the
ナイ
knife.
フ血の匂いを終えたらいいん
I
だ
can
けど
track the scent, but the hall's chock full of roses. It ain't gonna be easy with them smelling up the place.
やはりそうか。
I figured as much. But that said,
科学君ならば
Techie, might you have an alternative method?
もちろんです
Of
そ
course.
のための科学です
I
か
go
ら
by this alias for a reason, after all. Techie proudly pulls a cute little machine that resembles a puppy out from his pocket.
追跡遊具クンク
This
ン
is
クン
my trucking forensic friend, Sniffy Whiffy.
僕と探偵同盟
The
の協
Alliance
力で
helped
生
me
み出され
develop
たこの
him.
遊具は
He can
登
tirelessly
録した
trace
匂い
down
を
any
どこまで
sense
も
he
追跡
registers and
発
is
見可能
found
な人
miraculous
命
to
救
save
助
lives.
さらに南西の
Furthermore,
小
he
型
has
ゴ
a
ムクロ
small
ーラーを
rubber
採用
tread
し
to
たこと
cover
で
tricky
凹
terrain
凸の
without
激しい通路であろうとも
disturbing
現場を終わらさ
scenes.
ず
I can move
時
up
速
to
15km で
15
追
kilometers
速
per
当
hour.
然小型
He's
の発
also
信機
equipped
も
with a
搭載なの
transmitter
で
so that you can
探偵デ
monitor
バイ
him
スの
from
画
the
面からリア
keypad.
ルタイム
Plus,
で
he
追
uses the
跡
same
可能です
lithium-ion
そして
battery
さら
and
に
the international.
ISS
But
大したものだ
yes,
ね
that's all
後でゆっくり
impressive.
と説明を聞くか
We
ら
would
追跡
love
に
to
移
hear
ろう
more
か。
about it later, but for now, why don't we start using it?
あ
Alright.
ごめんなさい
Sorry, I get a little carried away when I talk about my inventions. Techie returns to reality, hanging his head in shame.
じゃあ早速その道具で
Now, let's not waste any time. Use this tool.
道具じゃないです遊具です
He is not a
僕の大切な
tool.
友達を
This is
友
my
達扱
friend.
いしないでく
Don't
ださ
just
い
treat him like some piece of equipment. Workaholic bows several times in apology for misspeaking. True to his name, he's the very picture of a harried office worker. Techie may seem calm and collected, but careless remarks about his inventions are a clear sore spot of his. I'd better watch my words.
皆さん
Sorry,
取り乱して
everyone.
申し訳ありま
Blowing
せん
up like that. Let's get
それ
to
では
tracking that scene.
血液の
Techie calms down, setting his dog-like tracking machine Sniffy Whiffy loose near the bloodstain. Sniffy Whiffy scoots across the floor just like a real dog. He circles around a couple times and thuds into the room's door.
追跡が始まりました
He's on the hunt. Let's
扉を
open
開
the door
い
and
て
see where he
先に進ん
goes.
でもらいましょう
I open the door and Sniffy Whiffy darts out of the room, barreling down the hall towards the stairs. All I can pick up is roses, but he must have zeroed in on the trail of the blood.
大したもんだな
How about that? My nose wasn't getting jack squat.
正確には匂いではなく
Strictly speaking, it's not the scent, but rather the air particles that he tracks, hence why he isn't
だか
thrown
ら
off by the other
他の匂いが
smells.
漂う場所で猟犬の鼻も型なしだね
So much for that whole nose of a bloodhound spiel.
うるせえ最初に気づいたのは
My
俺の
nose is
鼻
what
だ
got
ろう
us
な
this lead in the first place, remember? Sniffy Whiffy stops at a painting just before the stairs entrance hall.
クンクン殿
The
が
Sniffy has halted!
ここで
Could
何
this
者
be
か
the
が
site
刺され
of
た
the
というこ
stabbing?
とか
バーカ見るから
No
に
tin for
こんな
brains.
って
I
ない
don't
じ
see
ゃ
a
ん
blood stain to you.
つまり
Knife must have been
ナ
used
イフが
somewhere
使
else
わ
like
れた場
behind
所
the
はこ
painting.
の絵画
絵画の奥
Behind
ど
it?
ういうことな
Whatever
のか
could you mean?
まさか
Is there a world within the painting to think of stuff children's fairy tales could actually
実
exist?
在するとは
落ち着いて武装
Relax, Arma.
論理
The
的に考
answer is
えてい
clear
け
if you
ば
think it's
真
through
実は
logic.
明らか
Workaholic touches the painting as he inspects the frame. He then gently taps the artwork before pressing his ear against it.
間
Aha!
違いない
No question about
この
it.
絵画の奥に
There's a
は
hollow
空洞
behind
が
the
広
face
がっ
of the
ている
painting, which means that if I shift it like this. Still touching the painting, Workaholic Detective moves his hand. The entire wall around it slips back like a sliding door revealing a hidden passage. Sniffy Whiffy, who has been waiting in place, begins moving again, right down the newly discovered path.
今ので分かったんです
How
か
did you figure that out?
それは企業秘密ってこと
Trade
で
secrets. You pick up a
私は
lot
この
when
仕
you've
事を
been
続
on
け
the
て
job as
長
long
い
as
か
I
らね
have.
おじさんやるじゃん
Dang, Gramps, you got me
Check me
rethinking my
out,
take on
Suka.
you.
Much
No
more
cap, I might
respect
even
you.
like, I don't
Midai,
know,
huh?
kind of sort of respect you now.
おじさんは
I
勘弁
wish
して
you
ほ
wouldn't
しい
call me
な
that. I'm still in my
私
20s, you
ま
know.
だ一応20
Barely,
代
but
だ
it
から
still
ね
counts. Workaholic turns red in the face downtown, slapped him on the behind.
この先でナイフが使われた
That
の
blade was used somewhere up ahead. As we know not what may occur, I shall stand in the vanguard.
おい待てって
Hold up, bucko. It's
この
not
広さ
enough
な
for
ら
two.
二人並べ
See?
るだろ
I'm taking the lead
俺
too,
も
so
先
keep
頭に
your
立
ass
って
peeled.
周りを
Rowdy tries to push forward, but is stopped by Doleful.
ヤマトさんは科学君
Actually,
渋
would
谷
you
さんと
mind guarding
通
the
路の
entrance
入り
with
口を
Techie
見
in
張っておいて
downtown
くれないか
Rowdy?
な
I think my abilities
今の状況なら
come in handy
僕の
here.
能力が役に立つと思うから
Armor and Doleful Detective are to spearhead our foray into the secret passage, with me and Workaholic following after. Rowdy, Downtown, and Techie would remain at the entranceway acting as lookouts in case the tunnel is a trap. As for why I'm being brought along, it's probably because I won't be able to escape in this tunnel. I'm struck by the fact that Workaholic, the most experienced of the group, had deftly assumed a position beside me. These detectives don't miss a single beat.
じゃあ僕と武装さんで
Right,
先導して
Armor
いく
and I
ね
will lead the way. As he speaks, Doleful and Armor Detective enter the tunnel together. Workaholic and I continue right behind. The four of us descend down a spiral staircase that winds its way underground. At the bottom of the gloomy underground tunnel we proceed into, using light function on our D-pads to guide our way. The only sounds are our footfalls echoing the tunnel, as well as Sniffy Whiffy's treads crawling across the floor ahead of us. The air is dusty and reeks of mold, making it hard to breathe. Clearly, this place is seldom used. My love of cleanliness aches to ventilate the place. Doleful's eyes narrow as he travels the tunnel. His usual fearful countenance is tense, as if he's an entirely different person.
大したものだろう。
Impressive, is it
集中
not?
力
Doleful's intense concentration, that is. Workaholic whispers to me as if he's reading my mind.
彼の序列は14位。
Ranked number
すでに
14,
100
he
件以上
solved
の
over
事件を解
100
決に
cases
導
and
いている。
survived just as many bloody encounters
くぐ
as
り
those
抜けてき
veteran
た修羅場の
detectives.
数は
Over 100 cases solved, the idea alone leaves me speechless. We can't be that far apart in age, and yet his track record is on a whole other level. What sort of heroic life has this seemingly gentle boy led up to now?
飛脚さんが言っていた
What did Doleful mean when he
能力という
said his abilities could come in handy here?
じきに君も身をもって知るさ。
You'll see soon enough. He
同盟内で
possesses
は
what
彼
we
の
in
能
the
力を
Alliance would call
名探偵
the
体質
makings of a great detective. Doleful stops in his tracks.
武装さん止まってください
Armor, stop!
どうしたのだ飛脚殿
What happened, Sir
足から血が出てい
Doleful?
る
Your leg is bleeding. Armor shines his D-pad light on Doleful's leg, revealing a trail of blood beneath his knee. Something reflected in the light just ahead of them.
足元に
There's something at your feet.
何
おそらく侵入者撃退用の罠だよ
My guess is that it's a trap to ward off intruders, judging by the texture. It must be some kind of wire. He's right. When I get close to the reflection, I see red dripping off of an extremely fine wire. It was so razor thin and difficult to see that were it not for the blood, it would have been nearly imperceptible, even in direct light.
探偵同盟で開発
This
中
is the
のワイヤー
wire.
層か。
This is the wire I saw the Detective Alliance is currently developing.
どうして透明で
Why
そんな
would
も
the
のを
Alliance make something like this?
密室の錠前をこじ開けたり、
Or cutting
拉
locks
致や
to
拘束され
interceal
た時の
rooms
護
or as
身用だろ
means to
うね。
escape
本
unrestrained.
来は特殊な
Word
グロ
is
ー
that
ブを
it
つけて使
requires
うものだって聞いている
specialty
よ。
gloves to handle.
素手では触らない方がいい。
Best to avoid touching it,
用途
given
に用
its
途だけに
intended
人
use.
体くらいなら
It's so
強く
sharp
押し付け
that
るだ
enough
けで
pressure
切断
could
可能な
cut
気が
straight
した。
through human flesh. Good thing I noticed it then. Workaholic produces medication and bandages from his pocket and begins applying first aid to Doleful's leg.
ひどい怪我だけど、
This is a rather
この程度で
nasty
済んで
cut,
良好
but
かも
you're
ね。
lucky to get off this leg.
君以外が引っかかっていた
Anyone
ら
else would have been
足が
liable to
切断
lose
さ
a
れてい
leg
て
in
も
your
おかしくなか
position.
ったよ。
僕の体質は
Situations
こんな
like
時
these
くらい
are
しか
about
誰
any
かの
time
役
my
に
special
立ち
skill
ません
ends
か
up
ら
being useful.
体質って
Special
一
skill?
体どう
What do
い
you
う
mean
こ
by
とです
that?
か
For some reason, Doleful struggles to reply. Workaholic steps in to answer on his behalf.
飛脚君は昔から
Doleful
自
is
分の
a
身を危う
danger
くする
magnet
事象
with a
に
knack
巡
for
り合いやすい
close
んだ。
calls. From
例えば
traps to wanted
今回のような
criminals
罠
to
から
finding murder
指名
scenes
手
and
配
even
飛脚君は
evidence.
これまで
His
持
innate
ち前の勘と洞察力で
intuition and
そんな
powers
過
of
酷な境遇を
insight
生き抜いてきた
are what have allowed him to survive such less than fortunate circumstances.
だから名
So
探
that's
偵
how he
体
has
質
the
ですか
makings of a great detective. In stories, detectives are always expected to survive, even when wrapped up in a personal case, and even when their life is on the line. And now I'm standing in front of a real-life detective who embodies that very trope.
そんな大それた
Not
力
that
じゃないよ。
impressive. In fact, I'd say I just bring misfortune to everyone and everything around me. It's kind of a miserable existence. Doleful Detective's expression flickers as he touches a bandage on his wrist. The countless traces of medical attention covering his body shows just how much suffering he's constantly endured.
だけどその分危険には
Still,
人一倍敏感なん
may
だ。
be more sensitive to
僕の
threats
身に降
than
り
the
かかる
average
脅威の気
person.
配なら
I
必
can
ず感じ
always
取ることが
sense
できる。
when I'm in danger.
僕がみんなの盾になってみせるよ。
Your shield. I see the resolve within Doleful's eyes as he speaks. He and I may look similar. I might even be the older one, but nothing in me competes with that look. He couldn't be further apart.
飛脚殿水
Sir
臭いぞ
Doleful, you needn't be so reserved. Armor abruptly steps forward. He then swings his arm up before bringing it down to chop the wire before us.
武装さん、そのワイヤ
Armor
ーの鉄だ
detective,
って切れちゃ
that
うん
wire
です
can
よ。
cut steel just
いくら鎧を
because
着
you're
て
wearing
るからっ
protective
て。
covering doesn't mean
心配無用だ
fear not. The
我
suit
の
in
身を
which I am
包むは
clad is the
我
product
が
of
家
my
のみに
family's
言い伝わ
long-held
る
secret.
史上
Behold
最
the
高の
strongest
鎧な
armor
り
known to man. The wire parts with ease. Sure enough, the armor detective doesn't have a single scratch on him. Both Doleful and Workaholic widen their eyes in incredulity.
どのような罠にかかろう
No
とも
matter the trap,
我の
mine
鎧は
armor shall
砕けや
prevail. Set your
安
minds at
心し
ease
て
and allow me
我
to
を
take
先
the
頭に
lead.
立た
だけど
But
僕が
to
前
me
に
it's
出ていた
hurtful
方
to
が
minimize the
チ
total
ーム
risk
全体
for
の
our
リスクを
team as a
抑えられ
whole.
るし。
仲間が傷つくかもし
I
れぬ
can't
の
stand
を
idly
静観してはおれん
whilst my companions are
お主ら
hurt.
の盾となる
Despite
た
my
めに
inadequacies,
我
I
は
hasten
そう
here
承
to
知
be
で
as an
この場に
aegis
馳せ参じたの
for
だ
each
から
of you.
な
Armor speaks with a calmness that eases Doleful's taut expression. Despite the latter's brave front, he might have been nearing his limits. Thank you, Armor. In that case, I'll stay back a bit and keep an eye out.
僕
Armor takes his lead as Doleful acts as a lookout behind him.
武装さん、すぐ前
Armor, I
方
can
僕
sense
の
the
首あ
threat
たりに
right in
脅威
front
の
of
気
me
配を感じま
about
す。
head height.
またワイヤーだな
Another
承
wire!
知である
Understood! What? Oh! Without a second thought, Armored Detective swings his hand towards the area Doleful Detective indicated. Chop, chop, chop. Sometimes Doleful's warnings come too late, and Armor runs into a wire. But even then, it never leaves a mark. He continues safely through the darkness. Until...
発信機の反応を見るに
Based on the signal, the tracker has stopped 5 meters ahead. It would seem we've arrived at the scene where the knife was used. We finally make it to the end of the tunnel with 0 injuries, save for Doleful's, of course. Sniffy Whiffy is parked right in front of the steel door, which means the bloody knife we found earlier must have been used right behind it.
武装君申し訳ないが
I
先
hate
陣
to
を
ask
頼めるか
Armor, but would you mind taking point?
何を言っているの
That's what he's
だ社畜殿
No need to
この
apologize, Sir
危うい状
Workaholic.
況にて
My armor
先
exists
駆け
for
とな
the
るべく
very
我
moment
が
I
鎧
must
は
forge
存在
the
している
facts. And yet, Armor looks tense as he cautiously touches the doorknob. Goosebumps revel across my body. Deep down, I get the overwhelming urge to scream, "Don't open it." It's as if my mind somehow knows that what we're about to see is truly horrific. I have an extremely bad feeling about this.
3つ数えると同時
I
に
shall
開ける
open
の
the
で
door
あ
on the
る
count of 3.
1
1, 2. The doorknob makes a click as it turns. My heart rate leaps, but I can't bring myself to look away.
3つ
3! And this is where we're going to end this stream today. We're going to go ahead and save it. I don't know what's on the other side. There we go. And we will pick it up next time. If you like this video, hit like. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. I will play a tiny bit after this exit, just to see if it ends like as soon as you open the door, because if it does that, I will just totally end the whole thing. This is a demo, it's not the actual game. So, hope to see you all next time, and yeah, bye-bye.